A furious Canada is making the United States of America squeal. They're making the United States say mercy. They're making the United States tap out and whine and complain in public. Just take a look at this. This is Pete Hoekstra. He's the United States ambassador to Canada. And here he is whining that people in Canada no longer like the United States. And he's like, why don't you like us anymore? Why would you treat us? Why is there an anti-American sentiment in Canada? We here in America don't think that way about you. Why do you do elbows up? Why are you saying me too there about America? Why are you doing these things? I don't know, Pete. Maybe it's because Donald Trump has threatened the very existence of Canada, has threatened the sovereignty of Canada, has repeatedly referred to Canada as the 51st state. Maybe, Pete, it's also because of people like you who are sociopaths who are there attacking Canada each and every day. And then when Canada fights back to protect itself, in retaliation to the offensive threats by the United States, you and people like you in the Trump regime play the victim. And you're like, why are you going after us? What did we ever do to you? Threaten the very existence of the country, Pete Hoekstra. That's what you idiots have done in the Trump regime. And you have crippled United States tourism as Canada has led a boycott throughout the entire world. Las Vegas is suffering as a result of morons like you, and Americans across various industries are suffering because Canada is buying Canada and making relationships with the rest of the world, Pete. It's pretty obvious. And when you're out there saying things like that at the Halifax Chamber of Commerce, you are just pissing off Canadians even more. You're not making things better when you have such a detachment from a reality when it's obvious the cause of this in the first place. You, Trump, your regime. Here, watch him right here. What a maniac this guy is. Here, play this clip.
The thing that was probably the most unexpected. And we're going to get right into the meat of the stuff that we want to talk about today, okay? I'm disappointed that I came to Canada, a Canada that it is very, very difficult to find Canadians who are passionate about the American-Canadian relationship, okay? You ran a campaign where, it was anti-American, elbows up, me too. It was an anti-American campaign. That has continued. That's disappointing. I talked to a lot of business people. They are passionate about the relationship because they recognize rebuilding ecosystems and rebuilding the kind of economic relationships that we have. As some people talk about, we'll go other places. It's kind of like, that's hard. Plus, this one works pretty well. We've created a lot of prosperity and wealth, high quality, high paying jobs by working together on both sides of the border. Like I said, I'm passionate for it. The business community is passionate for it, but they're not very public about it.
And then he has the audacity to say, why are you even calling this like a trade war? Why are you using this language? We don't use this language in the United States. Why are Canadians being so aggressive with us in the United States? Are you an idiot? Are you an idiot? No, it's just the sociopathic nature of your fascism. It's literally because you've threatened the existence of the country. And, the first time Trump did it back in November after the election, they were like, oh, right. Then in December, it was, oh, right. Guess that's Trump being Trump. Okay, maybe he's being funny. Then it went into January, and then Trump started actually implementing policies that made it clear that he really wanted to declare war on Canada. So enough was enough. And Canada said, stop it, cut it out. You're going to keep on doing this. Just stop it. And Canada united, Canada strong, elbows up. Here, play this clip.
The cabinet's now saying that we're at war with America. That doesn't help. Okay. That doesn't, an American opinion. Okay. Maybe in Canada saying we're at war. Maybe that's something that Canadians stand up and say, yes, yes, yes. Okay. We have an enemy. I don't think so. I know a little bit about Canada.
Hoekstra warned calling it a war is misleading and dangerous.
No, we're not at war. If the president thought he was at war with Canada, you'd see a whole different kind of relationship and trade negotiations.
He then took aim at politicians who've called for Canadians to boycott U.S. travel and American products like alcohol, suggesting Americans aren't stooping to that level.
We don't say don't go to Canada.
And by the way, you had Prime Minister Carney of Canada visiting Mexico City, where President Claudia Sheinbaum was there. They were showing what adult leadership looks like, how grown-up leaders actually behave in a dignified manner. You didn't have some orange Mussolini flapping the decrepit hands or whatever it looks and breaking news. We're going to put more troops into Afghanistan. Breaking, whatever the hell Donald Trump was saying, in the ridiculous trip he did to the United Kingdom. I was like, patting Keir Starmer on the back. So anyway, so Claudia Sheinbaum, I love this part of her speech. When she was with Prime Minister Carney, she's like, you know what? I want to thank the Canadians also. Our tourism is way up right now in Mexico, thanks to Canadians. We love having Canadians in Mexico. Yeah, I'm sure you do. You're making a lot of money that way. Here, play this clip.
I didn't say this in the meeting, Prime Minister Carney, but I'm saying it right now. We celebrate constant growth of Canadian tourism in Mexico. We truly celebrate it because we have an increasingly growing number of families and visitors coming to Mexico as their tourist destination. We express our will to continue facilitating this because this strengthens human cultural ties and also economic ties between our two societies.
And by the way, you know who's suffering right now? The people of Las Vegas, the people of Nevada are suffering right now as Donald Trump conned them yet again, just like he conned the people of Atlantic City back in the 90s into the 2000s and destroyed the economy of Atlantic City and bankrupted 3 casinos there. He just did it to Vegas, and all the Vegas people are like, yeah, we're going to get no tax on tips. Well, guess what? You need people to buy things to get tips in the first place. Also, the no tax on tips was just a scheme. It's a deduction. It's capped. It expires in 2 years. Not the tax cuts for the billionaires. Those don't expire. Those are basically forever. But yeah, the no tax on tips, it's capped. It expires. It's a deduction. So you have to actually claim it on your returns, which most of those workers were not doing with the cash tips anyway. And guess what? Your business is down 50 to 75%. So you ain't getting them tips like you used to get. Okay. So enjoy those no tax on no tips. Here, play this clip. You'll see Las Vegas tourism declining significantly. And now casino workers can't find shifts. Here, play this clip.
I went to a job fair at the Boulevard Mall to see what workers are actually experiencing. And I met people who may not be laid off, but they're not working either.
Been off of work for like 2 months, so on call, and it's kind of slow, and I need some money.
This is Sonia Owens. She's lived in the Valley for 8 years and has worked at Caesars for the past year. But she tells me she hasn't worked a single shift in 2 months.
And bills backed up, and, I just got to find something permanent.
She says because they aren't seeing the volume of tourism, she's feeling the impact, and it's not the first time.
How slow? 2 months at a time. This is like my second or third time that I've been off for 2 months.
You're not getting paid right now.
No.
For Sonia, she says the financial pressure is overwhelming. When she started, she was getting scheduled regularly at least 3 to 5 days a week.
If I known this was the situation, I would have never started.
In July, the LVCVA reported that visitation has been down for 7 months straight. And Sonia's not the only one feeling it.
Is that concerning for you as somebody who's getting in that field?
Well, it is.
Kimberly Ante says she is searching for work in the casino industry, and the tourism slump is worrisome, even impacting long-standing employees like Kimberly's friend.
And they laid off 5 of the regular servers. Therefore, she's now pushed all the way down to the bottom of the list, has not worked in 3.5 weeks.
And it's not just a decline in national and international travelers. Many tell me strip prices are hurting us too.
Almost gotten to the point that tourists can't afford to come into town. One of the on-strip casinos, and at the food court, for 2 burgers, 2 fries, and 2 beers, it was $75. To me, that is absolutely ridiculously overpriced.
So here's the deal. If you're an owner of a handgun like me for self-defense, your storage likely fits into one of 2 frustrating categories, but there's a way to solve that frustration, right? It's either locked away, safe, but out of reach in an emergency, or it's unsecured, leaving it vulnerable to anyone. Stopbox USA saw that problem and they designed a groundbreaking solution, the Stopbox Pro. So with the Stopbox Pro, and this is why I love it, you'll never have to choose between security and readiness again. It's ingenious push-button locking system, gives you fast, reliable access when every second matters without the hassle of keys or reliance on batteries. It's 100% mechanical, so it works every time. No power needed. With Stopbox USA, you can finally have both security and readiness. The Stopbox Pro's mechanical keyless system allows for fast, secure access without the risk of fumbling for keys. Again, when every second counts, it's also battery free, so you don't have to worry about your lock not working. So here's a few things I think that are important. Traveling with peace of mind is easy because Stopbox Pro is TSA compliant. It's one of the things I like about it. Stopbox also offers a range of other innovative products, including their vehicle safe, chamber lock, and other essential gear designed to keep you prepared and protected wherever you are, and also everything sourced right here in the USA, which I like as well. So for a limited time, our listeners are going to get 15% off at Stopbox when you use the code TRUTH at checkout. So head to stopboxusa.com and use the code TRUTH for 15% off your entire order. So after your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show. Tell them that the MeidasTouch sent you. Again, go to stopboxusa.com and use the code TRUTH for 15% off. And then tell them the MeidasTouch podcast sent you. Now, Las Vegas tourism downturn is also affecting more than just the Strip. Let's play it.
We've all heard that tourism is down in Las Vegas, but it's not just fewer visitors on the Las Vegas Strip or in downtown. It also means fewer customers of businesses around the valley that depend on tourists for their bottom line.
I caught up with local Zach Wilcox at Governor Joe Lombardo's campaign kickoff earlier this week. He told me when things get slow in Las Vegas, they also slow down at his gun shop, which includes a popular shooting range.
The shop that we operate, we're near the Strip, and we can actually kind of see and feel the slow in tourism and things like that. So anything that he's willing to do economically to help out Southern Nevada, I really appreciate. Because we're near the Strip, we kind of do really feel the fluctuations in the tourism. So when things are down there, we really can see and feel it at the store.
The downturn also means fewer customers and less in tips for workers in restaurants on and off the Strip. Longtime food server Josefina Hurtado told me recently she's seeing fewer people and is worried about how long the slump will last.
If this goes on, if this continues, how's it going to affect you?
By a lot. I'm just don't know where I'm going to get the funds or even do what I need to do to make sure my kids, have a better future than I did growing up.
Hurtado is a single mom with 4 kids working to make sure they all have a chance to go to college. That's not easy on the best day, and she tells me it's all the more difficult with fewer customers and fewer dollars in tips.
I just hope and pray that, we come out of this Trump slump that we're in, because it's real. It's definitely real, and it's a struggle.
The downturn is also a concern for Ted Papageorge, the Secretary-Treasurer of the Culinary Union Local 226. He says the drop in visitors has a big impact on many locals here in Las Vegas.
The facts are in that we're the only country of all the ones that are being monitored that's going to have a downturn in tourism, and it's going to be in tens of billions of dollars, and that means jobs in Las Vegas, and that's a real problem, and most folks didn't vote for that. So what we want to see is some real refocus from this administration on the cost of living. And if they don't do it, there's going to be repercussions in the ballot box next year.
Tourism authorities say upcoming convention business will bring more visitors, and they've launched a new ad campaign designed to lure more people back here to Las Vegas. And for workers whose livelihoods depend on visitors, this downturn can't end soon enough. Reporting in studio, I'm Steve Sebelius.
I want to share this with you as well. This was Prime Minister Carney's very dignified speech in Mexico City. Let me show you what he said here. Play this clip.
Let me conclude just by observing what's obvious but what's essential. We are both undertaking massive transformations of our economy. Plan Mexico, Canada strong. Our efforts will be strengthened by working together. As President Sheinbaum said at the G7 summit, and I quote, "In an interdependent world, no country can isolate itself." And as your predecessor, one of your predecessors, Benito Juarez counseled, entre los individuos como entre las naciones, el respeto al derecho ajeno es la paz. And if I butchered that too much for the translator, among individuals as amongst nations, respect for the rights of others is peace. And it's by balancing this respect for sovereignty and the belief in cooperation that Canada and Mexico will build together for the benefit of our peoples. Thank you, President Sheinbaum. Merci beaucoup. Gracias.
And while we're showing you what's going on in Mexico City, you know, Charlie Angus, who runs Midas Canada, was in Mexico City, speaking to the great people of Mexico City, spreading democracy and spreading the MeidasTouch way. He was in Mexico City, and he was in an area that they were calling Utopia in Mexico City. And Charlie Angus, you should go watch Midas Canada. He did a whole great piece about how Mexico's been working to lift all these people out of poverty. Let's bring in Charlie Angus here. Charlie, no one does it like Charlie Angus. Here, play this clip.
Welcome to Utopia. That's what this place is called. In fact, there's many utopias here in Mexico City, a massive city of 22 million people. And why is this utopia? Well, this was wastelands in poor areas that the people of Mexico redeveloped in order to give the community options for swimming, for education. This is what happens when you invest in your communities. This is what we're fighting against with the fascist threats coming from the United States, that they want to pull out investments. They want to attack communities. Like, check this out. They're doing astronomy here in the inner city. And not only that, they're making the telescopes themselves. Imagine that kind of investment working for people instead of just the fascist gangster capitalists. Can you explain your telescope?
Well,
we're from Canada.
Okay.
And we need friends because we're fighting Trump and you're fighting Trump. So we got to show people in Canada the good stuff you're doing.
Well, here we show these telescopes that are handmade. We did all the optics and the mechanics of the telescope. Richard is our teacher, and this kind of workshops helps people to get close to science, because the people that are here in the workshop, not all are scientists. They are from all ages, and they come from all places of the city.
Now, I'm reminded when Donald Trump recently stated that, you know, Mexico and Canada, they just do whatever the hell we want. Remember when he said that? Here, play this clip.
And Mexico does what we tell them to do, and Canada does what we tell them to do, because we had the two borders. We have the northern border, southern border, and they were both horrible. But now it's some people say it's a miracle.
And while that's all going on, you have a lot of people like in deep red areas, you know, like people in Josh Burkeen's district, MAGA Republican from Oklahoma. What he wants to know is like, dude, to the Congress member when he held the town hall about a month ago, they're like, why aren't you traveling to Canada? They're our closest ally. Why do you keep talking about Israel? Why aren't you talking about Canada? Why are you screwing Canada, our neighbor? And why aren't you focused there? Here, watch what these constituents said in a deep, just think this is in a deep, deep red area. Here, play this clip.
So you guys, I mean, whatever AIPAC pay for congressmen. Okay, now, last month, before you even come into this meeting, you went to Israel.
I did go to Israel.
There is no other country allowed to take 40 member or 30 member of Congress, American Congress, to a different country. You didn't go to Britain. Did you go to Canada? These are our allies too. Did you go to, I don't want you to go to Lebanon. I'm Lebanese. I don't want you to go to Lebanon. I don't want you to pay
How about
Lebanon.
Syria?
Well, but don't go to Syria.
That's what I've been working on for 2 weeks. Do you know about the genocide that's happening in Soweto?
I know. I follow up with it. I completely. I can discuss that with you all day.
And by the way, you know, you have Charlie Angus, former member of Parliament, now runs Midas Canada. He's a member of the new NDP. They're kind of party that's considered more on the far left, if you want to use labels. You have Prime Minister Carney, who was kind of considered center left. And then you have the Ontario Premier, Doug Ford, who's considered right, who who used to be a little Maple MAGA back in the day, who in their first Trump administration, who's now very anti-Trump because Trump is anti-Canada. Trump attacked Canada. So just to remind you, really liked when Doug Ford said the following. Here, play this clip.
And we're lowering taxes. We're making sure we're competitive for companies to come and invest in Canada. Ontario alone last year attracted over $40 billion of investment, creating more jobs, more opportunities. I would much rather, work with our greatest ally and closest friend and increase jobs in both countries, and we can do that. We'd be the two strongest nations in the world economically. That's our goal, but unfortunately, President Trump doesn't want to go down that avenue. He wants to hurt the American people, and that's exactly what he's doing.
So there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.